Hi, this is Joe Kopsick. It's March 1st, 2018, just one day before the Libertarian Party state convention, March 2nd to 3rd in Bloomington, Friday and Saturday. And the state of Illinois is suffering from bad budgets, low bond rating, uh, looming pension crisis, property and income taxes through the roof that people all over the state are disgusted with, regardless of party. It's bringing people together against Rauner on both sides. So I just want to, rep for the co-founder of the Libertarian Party, David Nolan, and his attraction to the economic philosophy of Henry George. And Henry George was a big influence on socialist Norman Thomas, who himself influenced FDR. But Henry George was also admired by people like Milton Friedman and Winston Churchill on the right, in addition to Albert Einstein. Milton Friedman called Georgism to the single tax, the land value taxation, called it the least harmful tax ever proposed. Basically, what he meant by that, in my opinion, is that it's the least harmful on productivity, and figuring out how to get a tax revenue base to fund our government without uh, encroaching on the ability of people to produce and to keep most or all of what they produce. That is the key to solving Illinois' problems and to solving the problems of every government in the country and the world. So this is my statement. I I agree that I think we should get rid of the income tax on a state and a federal level. Income should not be taxed because it is our property which we earned through productive activities which harmed no one. Federal income taxes and capital gains taxes on top of the state income tax mean double taxation, and the size of income tax revenues mean they'll inevitably be used as a public trough. The higher you tax income, at the higher rate you tax income, the less people will work and earn in order to avoid the tax. So income taxes take away most of the rewards of hard work. On to sales taxes. Even if you can avoid working and paying taxes, everybody pays sales taxes. I don't know why wealthy people and conservatives want to pretend that poor people don't pay taxes. They have to buy things, and in like 45 states, there's at least sales taxes. On gasoline, for example, there was a soda tax in Chicago for a while. Most every item we buy has a sales tax on it. There are also luxury taxes. The purpose of taxing the item usually lacks a strong connection to what the item is. The connection between why it's what the item is and what it's paying for, what the tax is paying for. We don't always know. On the second point, we don't always know whether the tax is being paid by the seller or just being passed on to the consumer, so the seller doesn't have to pay it. They call these consumption taxes. It's like, why are we taxing consumption? We need to consume in order to live, don't we? Sales taxes make goods more costly, finally, and they deter people from consuming, and that's not good. We should deter people from destroying and being wasteful, but consuming is something we need to do. All sales taxes do is invite the government into transactions it had nothing to do with, even though supposedly they foster the environment for it, whatever that means. It only politicizes commerce and trade. It leads states to boycott industries and companies and stupid crap we don't need, and just divides everyone. On to property taxes. We're told that new sales taxes are the only way to avoid further increasing income taxes and property taxes. But the only reason we're having difficulty financing the government with property taxes is because people aren't free to build on their land and to make improvements to their property and to try to boost their property value in a way that doesn't involve their property taxes going up as well, which takes away all the rewards of their own hard work that they put into it and the government didn't. Just as with income and sales taxes, government deters us from producing, and it confiscates the product of our labors, which harmed neither person nor property. So, instead of taxing productive activities like earning an income, buying and selling, and building and making improvements, why don't we tax destructive activities like pollution and wasteful activities like occupying land that you don't use, or refraining from improving the land, or letting it fall into disrepair and letting blight hit the land, make it unusable, or for mining the hell out of a land and destroying it, leaving it on fire after you've turned it into a Superfund site or whatever. If a tax can't help but punish, then shouldn't it do so intentionally? Henry George's land value taxation, or LVT, and the soft kind of experimental version of it, split rate taxation, um, allow taxation and funding the government without a cost to productivity, because they only tax and deter and penalize destructive activities, not productive ones like making a living, buying things. Why do we need to deter those activities? We need to do those in order to survive, don't we? We need to tax the unimproved value on the land, not the property value. We're just taxing value away when we do that. Don't tax improvements upon the land. Tax waste and destruction and hoarding of the land. Don't tax productive behavior that unintentionally deters the behavior being taxed. Intentionally deter bad behaviors like destruction by imposing a tax or fee or fine as a punitive penalty or as an offset. Use LVT, to the land value taxation, to complement user fees and fee-for-service models in addition to voluntary contributions. Let that fund the government, and only have voluntary, purely voluntary, not through pressure. You shouldn't pressure people into paying sales taxes on their items. People should be free to spend whatever from income and sales and capital gains that they want voluntarily, and those things should not be automatically taxed in any way. If there's any shortfall from the government, then you just raise the rate of the land value taxation, just essentially charging people rent to the community, paid to the community, rent for occupying the land, because the community is giving you protection and it is saying that no one else is allowed to enter that. All property is necessarily exclusive, at least in the system we have now. And the way to modify that is to make sure that people are allowed to own property, but not in a way that leaves them free to destroy it or to just leave it unused while other people are dying because of their lack of property. Just look up Henry George.